Hi, welcome to my movie review channel. This is Maceo Lewis. Today I'm going to talk about the movie Novocaine. So I saw this movie twice. I saw an early screening of this movie with my wife last week, and then the saw it in Dolby over the weekend, just so I can, in case, because I think there were some things I missed about the movie, so I just wanted to watch it again before I did my review. And so I did notice little details that I missed during the first viewing. Does it get better? I don't think it holds up as much as the first time I saw it. I'll get to that in my review. But overall, that was okay. I didn't think it was like a terrible movie. I thought it was worth checking out. I thought it was humorous. It was funny. So yeah, let me get into my likes and dislikes. So this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie, go ahead and check it out. But I'm going to get into some spoilers starting right now. So let me talk about the things I liked about the movie. First, the cast. I like Jack Quaid. You may have seen Jack Quaid before. He's in The Boys, Companion, this one of the Scream movies, one of the few ones that came out within the last few years. I like how in this movie, like he can't fight, right? Like he has this disability where he, as you know in the trailers, where he can't feel pain. He can't feel hot or cold, and like pain doesn't affect him at all. But that doesn't give him the power like to fight. He's just like some bank manager, right? He's just like your average person. So when he gets involved in these situations with the bad guys, he's basically getting his ass kicked, right? But he can take a punch. So like what this movie kind of remind me of, like to me at least, it kind of reminds me of like the movie Kick Ass and like Jackie Chan, right? Jackie Chan, like he's famous for, like I've seen his one of his documentaries. He said he compared and contrasted him with Bruce Lee, who of course he was an extra in one of his movies, in Aaron the Dragon, and I think another movie as well. But anyway, he would contrast him. He would say, "Look, Bruce Lee, he would punch somebody and have that like lingering fist. Jackie Chan, he punches somebody and he goes, 'Ow,' right? That's like his style, his comedy, and that's kind of like what this is. It's like this movie is it's a dark comedy, but like when he's fighting, he's getting beat up. That's the joke, right? So yeah, so I thought it was kind of like Kick Ass, but without like the costumes and like a world of like people dressing up as like heroes. Um, and I like how in this movie, like the theme of this movie is basically you hear it in one of the self help tapes that the Nate character is listening to at the beginning of the movie. He's listening to like this self help tape, and he's uh, basically meditating on the idea that his disability is a badge of honor, right? Not to look at himself as a victim, but this character throughout most of his life looked at himself as a victim. Like he can't even, he can't even come to chewing solid food because he's afraid that he's going to, bite his tongue off and not notice it. So this disability has, held him back. He's basically the victim. But what he was trying to, learn and like grow as a person by using it as a badge of honor. So the theme is basically, if you have like a disability, it's not something that should hold you back. It's something that should you should be able to overcome and wear as a badge of honor. And that's kind of like what this movie is about. So I like that. I like this character. I like Jack Quaid and like the other stuff that I mentioned. Um, I like Amber Midhunter in this movie. She plays the character Sherry. She's basically the love interest. You've seen she was the lead in Prey, which I loved, and Legion. That show on, I think it was FX. I like her as a romantic lead. This is kind of the first time that I remember seeing her in like a romantic lead role. And I thought she had great comedic timing, great chemistry with Jack Quaid, and I think she's a good action star. So she saves him. Like I like how she's not just like a damsel in distress. Like she actually plays a role in saving the hero, the guy who can't fight. I like that in this movie. So the chemistry between Nate and Sherry, they established that during the first act. You see that, like, one example was the scene where they're at the bar with the hot sauce. The guy that Jack knew from, I'm sorry, I said Jack, Nate knew from his childhood. They would basically beat him up because they knew he couldn't feel pain. And he sees him at the bar. He says, "Hey, Novocaine, you're not dead," and all that stuff. And then he goes to the restroom because he has to do the timer thing. He has to, basically time himself to use the restroom or his battery's going to explode. Comes out, sees the guy talking with his girl. So he has this look on his face like, oh my God, this guy's like moving in this girl that I like. And like when you first see the scene, you kind of don't know what's going on. It's kind of seems like she's being nice to the guy because he's his friend. Maybe she's flirting with him. Who knows? But Jack kind of, sorry, not Jack, Nate comes up to them, and then she's like, "Hey, this guy's nice. Oh, why don't you guys do some shots?" And but the guy doesn't know is that she has ordered like the hot sauce for the shot, so she already knows that Nate can't feel pain, but this guy would feel the burning of the hot sauce. So I thought that was really funny. She was kind of like basically getting back at this bully. And it's like a way of establishing a bond. Now we find out later in the movie, well, she had another agenda because she, basically is being used by her brother and his gang to, get like the code to the, or the combination to the safe to get the money. So basically she's using this guy, Jack, to pull off a robbery, but still, like, I still felt the chemistry in that scene with the two actors. So it was basically enough, just enough to give me a sense of why this guy would go after this girl to basically risk his life. And you see that in the scene with the African American man who was basically going to be losing his house or business or something of nature, and the guy had lost his wife, and he said that she was his sunshine. So basically, Jack is looking for his sunshine in life, which turns out to be his girl that's been working there for 4 months. So I liked that part. I liked Ray Nicholson. This was the first time I actually noticed him in something. He's been in stuff before, like he was in the Smile 2, Licorice Pizza. He's been in Mayans, the show Mayans, a spinoff from Sons of Anarchy, and Promising Young Woman. But this is actually the first time where I kind of noticed him, like, oh, who is this guy? So I thought he did a good job, and I didn't know that he was Jack Nicholson's son. It's a similar. He's taken, like, to me, it's a similar path as Jack Quaid, because when I first saw Jack Quaid, I didn't know that he was um, Dennis Quaid's son, right? And so when I'm finally noticing Ray Nicholson, like, I didn't know that he was Jack Nicholson's son, but then I find out, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then when I heard that and I saw his smile, I was like, okay, now I see the face. Okay, I see that. So yeah, I liked him in this movie. He wasn't like a complex. He was like a one note type villain, but still he played the role really well, and he stood out as a adversary in this movie. And of course, Jacob Batalone, who played Roscoe, he's from the Spider-Man trilogy. I think his name is Ned. Spider-Man's best friend. He was in that recent movie Terror. I think it was last year. He had some funny moments in the movie. Like he dropped the line that was funny, like during the first phone conversation between Roscoe and Nate, and he shows up probably in the end of the second act of the movie to help out Nate when he's in trouble. That scene was funny. Yeah, Jacob. He's basically the comic relief, just like he plays in the Spider-Man movies and everything I've seen him in. So I like his presence in movies. He's not like a Daniel Day Lewis or anything, but he has his niche, and he's doing his role really well. So dislikes. I didn't think the twist was that shocking. I mean, it's something that you can kind of see a mile away, because that's basically, it's like reasonably foreseeable, right? In these type of heist movies where they take a hostage, but there's always that possibility that the hostage turns out to be in on the crime. So it wasn't that shocking to find out. I mean, we don't see it that often in these type of romantic comedy type movies, but in like action movies and stuff, usually it's foreseeable that the hostage is in it. He even dropped a line in the movie Date that, oh, the cops think I'm in on it. Well, that was like kind of foreshadowing that, yeah, there is someone in it, like the girl that you like. So I didn't think it was like too shocking when I found out, when they revealed that in that one scene when he's talking to her at the table in the high, I think it's the meetup location. So another thing that didn't quite work with, so this we see the trailer a lot of the dark comedy elements, right? We see him how he can't feel pain, the scene where the spike ball hits him in the back and he's be hit by these traps. And so that was all in the trailer. So when I'm watching this movie and I'm seeing it, it doesn't really, it doesn't make me laugh because I already seen it before. In fact, when some of the stuff that did make me laugh the first time I saw the movie, when I rewatched the movie again, it just wasn't as funny because I already seen it. So that, I mean, it doesn't. This movie doesn't have that rewatch factor. Like I've seen movies in the past where I've seen something funny and I see it again, and I'm still laughing. That this doesn't have that effect on me, and I know that from watching the movie again. So there was a lot of unrealistic things in this movie. So towards the end of the movie where the cop shoots, I want to say Ray Nicholson, he shoots Simon. The cop shoots Simon in the back and he falls down. And so the way the scene first plays out, it's like, oh yeah, he's dead. But in real life, the cops, after they shoot somebody, they would go and check to make sure he's still breathing and to at least secure the weapon so no one can get access to a weapon and shoot him because cops are concerned about their safety. In this movie, no, they just shoot him and then the cop goes up and they're like, hey, it's all over. And then of course the bad guy gets up and shoots the cop in the neck. It's like, yeah, dummy, you should have grabbed his weapon. like I don't know, that kind of took me out of the movie right there. Now, Sherry, although like yeah, she's a good person, she basically I got the impression that she was used and taken advantage of by her brother. But at the same time, a cop got killed, multiple people got killed, not just in this robbery, but there were multiple robberies where she helped this guy. She wouldn't, like in real life, she wouldn't have gotten like 2 years in prison. So it was basically 2 years because after the events happened, they said 1 year later, and then she had like 8 months left on her sentence. So basically 2 years or less, right? Like she would be on death row or like serving life in prison. I mean, she was a major participant in the crime. She helped set it up. She was aware that Simon had the tendency to kill. There was multiple murders that her, including the cop. Like, there's no way she would only get like less than 2 years. And another thing is like you might think, oh well, maybe she cut a deal. It's like a deal with what? Like all the co-defendants are dead. She's the only person left from the crime that's alive. So there's no way she would have cut a deal for like 2 years or less. So that didn't come across as realistic to me. And speaking of working out deals, so we're told that Nate has been in a coma for like what 6 months or so, and then when he wakes up from the coma, the cops say, "Oh yeah, we worked out a deal with the judge, and you're only gonna get 6 months probation." It's like, hello, like the person who is potentially charged with the crime has to be there with in court, probably with an attorney, like trying to work out. First of all, they have to get arraigned and charged with something, and then work out some kind of deal. Now, I know there's jurisdictions and some private attorneys work out pre-file diversion and stuff like that. But in this type of case, no, I'm pretty sure like he would be arraigned first when multiple dead bodies are involved in robberies, and he killed like what 2 or 3 people. Like I mean, come on, like he'd have to be arraigned first, and have an attorney with him before all of this stuff is worked out. So that didn't come across as realistic to me at all. Now I don't know. This movie doesn't lend itself to a sequel. I mean, put box office aside. Like, I mean, the joke is the guy can't fight, but like, in the sequel, would they just repeat the same thing again? Like, I don't really see it. I don't think this would work as a sequel. And I'm looking at the box office, the early numbers. It's Sunday, the 16th, and it only made like 10.5 million. I think the budget was somewhere around 18 million. So it's not this the movie to me, whether financially or I don't see this as like a sequel type movie. Um, so yeah, so this is kind of like a one shot. So overall, that's just my thoughts about the movie. I would definitely recommend checking it out at least once in the theater, especially if there's nothing else that's playing that you're interested in. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Novocaine. Hit like if you like my review. Subscribe to my channels so you can get notice of my next video and see my other videos that I posted. I have videos of both spoilers and non-spoiler out of the theater reactions. I'm at ML Movie Reviews on YouTube. Thank you very much, and until next time.